2019. I've made it to the small town of Lawrence, Indiana, right outside of Indianapolis for a Tempest Cup tournament. I'm not going to miss it. I'm finally getting one. I actually might do several of them before the month ends. I'm excited. There's a bunch of people here. I'm not sure how many have registered yet, but everybody's still getting their teams together. About 3 minutes, 6 o'clock, everybody's getting ready to start. All right, we are all checked in. The tournament just started and it's about to begin round one.
Looking at the roster, the first thing I noticed is that nothing is weak to grass. Bye-bye, Abomasnow, you're not needed here. Sneasel and Snowy Castform are weak to fire. Although Charizard does have Dragon Claw, which will be good against Salamence and Flygon, there's also 2 electric types that I'd have to watch out for, so I'd rather not take the risk. Same reason for Skarmory. I'm choosing Lapras because it has Ice Shard and Ice Beam, which will easily deal with Salamence, Flygon, and Zapdos. Lantern would be a good option to go with here because the only thing I have to worry about is Flygon and his Mud Slap. Altaria is probably my best pick here because it can easily take out Salamence and Flygon and resist everything that Zapdos and Raikou will throw out at it, except Shadow Ball. Only thing it has to watch out for is Sneasel and Castform. So I will lead with Lantern and that will be my lineup for match 1. First out the gate is Flygon, which is horrible for Lantern since Hydro Pump charges up so slow. Immediately I try to switch into Lapras, met with a Stone Edge attack, so I have to shield it in order to preserve Lapras. Flygon's Stone Edge charges up so fast, and almost instantly I am out of shields. Thankfully my Lapras has Ice Shard, which can take advantage of Flygon's double weakness to ice, making quick work of it. Next is Zapdos. Lapras and Zapdos are both weak to each other. Ice Shard charges up Ice Beam so quickly that I'm able to get off 2 Ice Beams almost back to back. The first one is shielded, but the second one hits. Next is Castform, which is an Ice type, so all of our attacks are going to be not very effective against each other. Luckily, Lapras has much higher stamina. We just trade blows for a while, and I'm able to charge up a few surf attacks and take out Castform. I stuck with the same lineup for round 2, except I decided to lead with Lapras this time. And I need to get Lapras out of there, so I store up some energy and then switch to Lantern, because Lantern resists electricity. I decide to shield against this Wild Charge attack. I charge up Thunderbolt and use it to try and get a shield, because I'd hate to waste all the energy needed for Hydro Pump. I get the shield, and then I'm hit with another Wild Charge. I do not shield it, and even though it's not very effective, it takes a lot of energy. I charge up another Thunderbolt, and I get the next shield. Lantern goes down, and out next, I throw out my shiny Altaria to finish off Raikou. Sneasel comes out, which is a great counter for Altaria, but is no match for my Sky attack. Next out is Flygon. They charge up a Dragon Claw, and I use my last shield to block it. I continue firing away with Dragon Breath, and I'm able to get off a Sky attack, which finishes off Flygon, and round 1 is done.
Round 1 is done. I'm just waiting for everybody else to get done so we can begin round 2. I started off good, so hopefully I can keep this momentum going into the rest of the tournament.
I'm with you, Ike.
Oh, cool.
So round 2 is against the head guy himself, admin of the Facebook group, Discord server, and self-staff, Brigadier Bacon. First thing I noticed about his roster is that we share 4 of the 6 Pokemon. Since nothing on his team was weak to ice, Lapras wouldn't be useful. Charizard would be great against Skarmory and Abomasnow, but since he has 3 water types and a Charizard, I decided to keep him on the bench. Although most people are not using Abomasnow as an ice attacker in this tournament, just seeing it at the end of that trio alongside Whiscash and Cilio just made me feel as though there was too much ice presence to use Altaria. The obvious first choice here is to use Abomasnow, since its Razor Leaf attack can rip through Lantern, Cilio, and especially Whiscash. Skarmory to counter Abomasnow, and also to resist ice moves from Whiscash and Cilio, and also Cilio's Body Slam. Although I will have to make sure to keep it away from Charizard and Lantern. And lastly, Lantern for its stamina, to counter Charizard and Skarmory and Cilio. I just have to keep it away from Abomasnow and Whiscash. So I will lead with Lantern, and that will be my lineup for match 1. First Pokemon up is Charizard, which is a perfect matchup for me since Lantern has the advantage over both of its types. Immediately, Charizard is switched out for Celio, which I don't quite understand since Celio is weak to electric as well. All Celio can do to Lantern is some not very effective attacks and Body Slam for neutral damage. Knowing that, I do not shield against any of the charge moves and just save my shields for later. My first Thunderbolt gets shielded. I charge up Thunderbolt again, and this time it takes it out. Next out is Abomasnow, which quickly finishes off Lantern, so I send out Skarmory to counter Abomasnow. After trading a few hits, Abomasnow is switched out for Charizard, which is a great counter for Skarmory. I send off a Sky Attack and it's shielded. Not knowing whether this Charizard has Blast Burn or not, I decide to shield against this charge attack, but it turns out to just be Dragon Claw. Immediately, I fire back a Sky Attack of my own, taking out most of its health, and one more Quick Attack finishes Charizard. Abomasnow makes a return, and Skarmory will have no problem finishing this. And Abomasnow goes down. I decide to stick with the same lineup for match 2, but lead with Lantern instead of Skarmory. He leads with Abomasnow, so I have to get Lantern out quickly. I meant to switch in Skarmory, but somehow selected Abomasnow. We trade Razor Leafs for a while, and then he unleashes an Outrage, which almost KOs my Abomasnow, and he drops right afterwards. I finally get Skarmory in to counter Abomasnow. He switches out and puts Charizard in. I use Sky Attack, and he shields. I don't know what's coming from Charizard, but since it charged up so quickly, I figured it may be Dragon Claw, so I chose not to shield here. I get another Sky Attack off, and now I get the second shield. Skarmory falls, so I send in Lantern, and there comes the Blast Burn. I decide to block it since Lantern is my last Pokemon, and I fire back with a Thunderbolt, which takes Charizard down. He throws out Whiscash, and since I know he still has Abomasnow, it's not looking good for Lantern. He charges up a Mud Bomb, and I have to shield. Hydro Pump does a pretty decent amount of damage, but there's no way I'm going to get another one off in time. He unleashes another Mud Bomb and my Lantern is finished. For the final match, I decide to lead with Skarmory, use Lantern, and I bring Altaria in off the bench. He leads with Abomasnow, which is perfect. A favorable matchup for me. I unleash a Sky Attack and he shields. After a few more blows, he gets his Outrage attack off, and since Skarmory resists Dragon types, I just eat the hit. He switches Abomasnow out for Charizard and blocks my Sky Attack. Charizard finishes off Skarmory, so I send in Lantern. Although Lantern resists fire, I did not want to take a chance to get hit by Blast Burn, so I shielded. I'm not sure what happened here, but it seems like Lantern just wasn't attacking for some reason. And then he gets off another Dragon Claw, which takes my last shield. I continue firing away with Charge Beam, and seeing how little damage it did made me regret using the last shield. I finally get another Thunderbolt charged up, and I take down Charizard. Out comes Abomasnow. I'm trying to switch, but the game won't let me. But I finally bring out my shiny Altaria, and Abomasnow goes down. Sends out Lantern, and Altaria starts going to work on Lantern. I finally get a move charged up and decide to use Dragon Pulse on Lantern. He instantly fires back with Thunderbolt, which is an attack that I know Altaria can eat. I keep going at it with Dragon Breath, and Lantern is history. Round 2 is through.
That was a pretty good battle. That was so intense.
This roster right here, man. Seeing his roster gave me the biggest mental challenge of the night. We both spent about 3 minutes just staring at our phones trying to decide which would be the best Pokemon to start off this round. We both had Skarmory. We both had Altaria. He accidentally registered a Swablu. Both had Lantern. He had a Celio instead of Lapras, and Tropius instead of Abomasnow. So the only real differences on our team were Quagsire and Charizard. This guy had registered the only Tropius in the entire tournament, and yes, it made me nervous. Charizard got benched yet again, and upon seeing Tropius on his roster, with Abomasnow being my Razor Leaf equivalent, I already knew which Pokemon would lose that matchup. So I decided to bench Abomasnow as well. Although Abomasnow would have been great against Lantern, Celio, and Quagsire, especially since it's double weak to grass, my Legacy Lapras would have been great against his Altaria and his Tropius, being that they are both double weak to ice, but Tropius's Razor Leaf attack will shred Lapras. My primary objective was that Tropius. I chose Skarmory. It resists grass and flying type moves, for the fact that he also has a Skarmory, an Altaria, and he has a Celio. I chose my Altaria. It can definitely beat Tropius because there's no way he's not going to use his Altaria, and it will resist Lantern as well. I'll just have to watch out for any ice moves from Celio or rock moves from Quagsire. And lastly, Lantern, which will be the only one in my lineup that will be weak to Razor Leaf, and will be a great offensive option if he decides to use Skarmory or Cilio, and its high stamina making it a tank. So, I'll lead with Skarmory, and that will be my lineup for match 1. Radom starts the match with Altaria, which I know loses to Skarmory. Although he is going at it with that Dragon Breath attack, Skarmory is resisting it. He's able to get his Sky attack off before I am able to. Resisting flying, I let Skarmory eat the attack, and then fire off one of my own. Radom shields my Sky attack. Then we keep going at it for a little more, and right as I'm about to get off another Sky attack, Altaria is ready to follow up with one of its own. I let Skarmory eat the attack again, and unleash mine. This time, he doesn't shield. So we keep going at it, and wow, we double KO each other. Neither player knows what's about to enter the field, but since his Altaria has already been taken down, I throw out mine. He throws out Quagsire. I get my Dragon Pulse charged up and unleash it. He uses his last shield, and I haven't used any, but here goes Quagsire ready with its Stone Edge. I have to use one now. I try to get my Sky attack off, and he gets his charge move off first. So now I have to use my second shield, and I am out of shields just that quickly. I finally get my Sky attack off to finish Quagsire. Lastly, he throws out Tropius, and at this point, I know I got this match. I keep using Dragon Breath, get off my Sky attack for super effective damage, and Tropius gets enough energy to use a Leaf Blade, but it's not very effective. So Altaria just keeps blowing away, and Tropius is done. I decide to stick with the same lineup for match 2. Again, I lead with Skarmory, and he throws out Cilio. Since Cilio can't do much to Skarmory, I decide not to shield. I'm able to get my Sky attack charged up, and I unleash it on Cilio, and he doesn't shield. Again, I'm ready to get my Sky attack off, and yet here comes another blow from Cilio. And again, I'm still not going to use a shield, and finally Cilio goes down. And I don't even wait to see what his next Pokemon is before I decide to unleash my Sky attack. It's a Skarmory, and he shields it, and my Skarmory drops. Next, I'll throw on my Lantern. He recognizes the disadvantage and switches into Altaria, which will resist everything Lantern throws at it. He decides not to use his last shield, but since I already did some damage, now I can safely switch into my Altaria to take down his. Since it could have been a Dragon Pulse or Dazzling Gleam, I shield. I don't want his Altaria to take out mine. I decide not to use another charge attack and keep farming energy. Skarmory comes out already ready to unleash a Sky attack, so I use my last shield. Since I'm in the home stretch, I get up enough energy for Sky attack, and he shields it. But since I was farming that energy, I come right back with another Sky attack. We trade blows for a minute, and he unleashes another Sky attack to finish off my Altaria. So I bring Lantern back in for super effective damage against that flying bird, and that is game. Round 3 is me.
We had the same lineup except one thing.
3-0. Third tournament, must have been the charm.
Do that. You're on the next tournament. Because like you, I research. Did you get it?
Anyway, it was great. Pleasure. Glad y'all guys through this event. And I will definitely be back for the next one.
All right.
See you on Saturday. See you on Community Day.
I'll be there.
And with that, I am out of here.
Man, these local tournaments are always a lot of fun. So if you're into PvP, definitely get out into your local communities and participate. I already plan to make a video in the future about my psychology behind preparing for these PvP tournaments. So if you're interested in a video covering that, let me know in the comments section and I will prioritize that video and get it up sooner rather than later. So if you like the video, hit that like button. Got a question or a comment, hit up that comment section. And if you really enjoy the content that's coming out on this channel, hit that subscribe button and click that little bell to be notified of my next video. And more importantly, share the video. Thanks for watching, and with that said, I am out of here.